the death of modern software in computer software, really, because most times when you go and buy a piece of software, you're more like renting it, you know? It goes along the something of, hey, you'll own nothing and like it. But this isn't just a Debbie Downer video just kind of saying this is all blah. There is hope, and it's really amazing some other things that have happened, and I'm actually happy that all this has gone down. And I'd have to say, I really am looking forward to the future because it is so bright. But we do need to talk about the past. So let's first talk about all that software that you've been using or have used, and you're going to be like, But let me show you where things are going to where it's even better than having to rely on these big companies to release software updates and fix things, because software as a service is not a viable model. It's a very profitable model, but it's not any good. So let's first tackle some things that we've used in the past, where things have gone. You guys remember Neuro Burning ROM? I remember buying this. I want to say it was actually in the 90s. And they had a lifetime license. You buy it once, you own it forever. Man, those were the good days. And actually, I remember when they moved to, hey, an annual type thing, or they stopped saying, hey, now Neuro 12 or 13 or whatever it is, you have to buy that new version. Well, it used to be you bought it once and then you get all of it. And it was touted as a lifetime license. Now, they honored that for like 4 or 5 years. My dad actually went and kept writing them going, hey, I bought a lifetime license, and they honored it for several years. But eventually they told him to go, pound sand, and you had to buy the new version. Obviously, nobody really burns CDs much anymore. And if you do, you're probably not even using Neuro. I remember like Alcohol 112 also there. But it's kind of interesting to like look at their software sheet. Look at this, how ridiculous this has gone. They just kept tacking stuff on. And now you get all of this when you go to their site. So let's go to the platinum version. You can get it for $50 or something. I somehow think I'm in Europe. Anyways, yeah, you get all these different things. Tune up, recode, back it up, media. It's kind of funny, but also a little sad. Going to the next piece of software where we kind of saw this transition into like a annual membership. A Neuro, actually, you could still own the versions at least. Most other big companies like Acronis has moved on to where you can't even really buy the software anymore. You're more renting it. This was a great backup software, especially I used it all the way in the early 2010s, and it was about $100 to $200, and it was one of the very first really good block-based backups, meaning you get everything one-to-one clone of your hard drive. The base software here is still very good. It's just the pricing model of this is now, hey, you pay per year, and they like to tie it into the cloud. So if you're really backing up a bunch of stuff, it's going to cost way more than this, and you're buying space and, more of a rent to own kind of thing. Obviously, there is the Adobe Acrobat model. Now, this has just recently changed just in the past couple years. You used to be able to buy entire versions and then just kind of keep them for 5-10 years. They figured out people were doing this and said, hey, you know what? No, you will just rent it. That's all we're going to do from this day forward. And I want to say it was 2021 or so when they stopped actually selling the full version of Adobe. And now it's strictly only a monthly fee, which is kind of nuts. I will say Microsoft, surprisingly, still does sell the full version of Office at 2021. We'll see if they release a new version in the next couple of years and still offer the one-time purchase. I still think this is a great value, but obviously they're still pushing the best value as the rent forever and never own it type thing. And I even asked ChatGPT, I'm like, what else has done this? Autodesk, QuickBooks, Norton Antivirus, which honestly Norton I could see because of the virus updates, Corel Draw, just give some other examples of the rent, never own type scenario. But when we started this out, I said, hey, the future very bright. what do I mean by that? And why I think I'm really, really pumped about this is because I've been a big Linux guy this past couple years. Now, I've been a lifetime Windows user. All my professional certifications in IT, I got a whole alphabet behind my name of Windows Server, Microsoft products. But really, ever since 2018 and I started YouTube, I've been huge into Linux and free and open source software. And to see it take off has been amazing. I've been able to take a lot of what I've learned in the Linux realm and bring it back over into Windows. And when I launched my piece of software, which is just a script, it's not even software really, but it performs better than almost a huge suite from a AAA title. I would say it performs not only better, but it just runs once. And then I've had people email me like, hey, how do I uninstall your software? And I'm like, close it. It's not really installing on your system. And if we just launch it with just this one command from an elevated PowerShell, you can see we have really kind of taken this to the next level. You remember Night to install things? This whole thing does it. We've added descriptors. So you're like, hey, what is this? And if you click on here, it'll actually launch into the website and give you an entire breakdown of the piece of software. And we prioritize a lot of software that is free and open source. So almost everything in here is at least free, but most of it is also open source. The rise of open source software is just so paramount that a lot of things that you currently pay for won't be anymore here in a couple years. Because as I look at it and as I develop this piece of software, which if you call it software, it's already taking the place of an entire suite of stuff, from any kind of PC optimization tools down to installer tools for that. As far as fix tools, we're already baking in all the fix tools in here. And even like an NT Lite situation, which you pay $30 for, we're doing it all for free. And obviously this is still new and there's still little bugs to work out, but the community has really rallied behind this, and it's kind of amazing to see all these optimizations just in this one tool that I've built with a couple other people. And the about page is here. Some of the more prominent contributors I went ahead and listed here, and I still need to fill out more because so many people have contributed to the project, and it really shows the power of open source. And just looking at the install page right here, all these other pieces of software, more than half of this on the screen is all free and open. So the future is extremely bright, and it's really cool. We'll have some growing pains here and there, but having to rely on Microsoft, Adobe, and all these other things, I honestly think this is going to be a thing of the past. So while all this subscription as a model is just terrible, and I really hate it, I am really, really happy to see that actually, them get so greedy and try and fleece you for your money, because it made this more prominent and more available. And I've gotten a lot more contributors for just building something like this. And it has just made, I think, my life a lot better, and hopefully your life a lot better as well. And if you don't, and you're not currently using a lot of free and open source software, you will be. Whether you want to or not, it's there, and you're gonna have to just put blinders on to not see it, and just have to be like old man yells at cloud and be like, no, I'm gonna give my monthly subscription fee to Adobe and Microsoft. I'm really looking forward to the next couple years, and you should be too, because the death of traditional software or good software is a great thing, and now we're going to the next phase.